My name's Karen. I'm very proud to be part of an old Bridlington family. I'm the granddaughter of the man who built the only remaining sailing cobble on the east coast, which has been restored and maintained in its original condition.
The Three Brothers, it was built in 1912 by my grandfather Baker Siddall and my father Percy Siddall.
It was built in Bow Street, Bridlington, and it was built by chisel and asp and various other hand tools. It was done by hand actually.
He only took the measurements roughly on a cigarette packet.
They always built the boats not from plans. They never used plans. They just built it, you know, from looking at them.
And we're fortunate, through one of the members of the family, to have acquired the actual tools, the adze, the plane, the saws and so forth, that were used in the actual construction.
I have here a photocopy from a book that my grandfather kept, one page of it, showing that the Three Brothers was built in 1912 at a cost of £90 for Mr. R. Crawford.
And the boat, when it was finished, it was 40 foot long, and it's clinker built.
And the building where the boat was built is still there, and you can see where, because the boat was wider than the entrance, you could knock down part of the side walls to get the boat out.
This is Bow Street. This is my grandfather's workshop where he built many, many boats. I love to come here. I love the smells and the feel of the wood, and everything is... I can remember so well being here when he was building the boats. Here we have some of the tools that Grandad and my great-granddad used to build the boats. The planes. I used to sit and watch my grandfather and my uncle build the boats, and I'd sit and play with all the bits of wood. Here we have some of the templates that they used. Every piece of the boat had a template, and here are some of the few remaining templates. Some clamps, lots of clamps there. All the old boxes of nails. Quite a size, eh?
Yeah.
Over here we have the steam box.
What is that?
Many of the pieces of wood needed to be bent to get the beautiful shape. And here they used to steam to soften many of the parts of the pieces of wood. They had to steam to get this beautiful shape. So in they would go.
Three Brothers was renovated and is owned by the Harbour Commissioners and was restored fully to sail in its old form as it was used in the early 20th century.
Three Brothers was unique in her time, not being a standard cobble of this area. She has a slightly shallower rake, enabling her to get up on the beaches than most cobbles. She was sailing out of Bridlington until just after the First World War, when she had an engine put in her. After that, she used to motor out into Bridlington Bay, doing both fishing and doing pleasure trips. After the Second World War, she was bought by a firm further north up in Newcastle, and she was used then as a ferry running across the Tyne and for ferrying workmen when they were building the bridge across the Tyne. Sometime after that, her history is a little bit vague, but she did turn up in Whitby for a while. Then back in the early 1960s, she returned to Bridlington and she was sailing with a local family called the Newbies. In the 1983, the Bridlington Harbour Commissioners bought her and took the engine out and converted her back to her original condition as she was when she was built in 1912. Since then, she's been owned by the Harbour Commissioners, and the Bridlington Sailing Coble Preservation Society was formed in order to help maintain her and to sail her.
Our society was founded in 1986, so we've been going a reasonable time at the moment. They've got a vibrant, enthusiastic party that's maintaining and carrying out the sailing and so forth.
We've got quite a good members, but they come from far away, you know, Leeds and Bradford and from down south, which I would think probably they just come for the holidays up here, but there's about 20 of us that's very active actually. We man the boat, and we also man the Harbour Museum. That is in the weekend and Saturdays and Sundays.
The Harbour Commissioners couldn't run their Harbour Museum, they offered it to us to run.
All the funding is raised by membership and by sales through our little museum we have on the harbour, and all the work done is purely voluntary.
We need more members, especially young members. Most of the members nowadays are getting older.
This is the problem. We need to recruit. We need to recruit a lot of younger people. We have got one or two coming in now, and some with some very good skills, boat building skills, etc. But of course, these people are working people, and they haven't got as much time as some of the older and retired people have got to devote it. However, the more people we can get in, the more of the younger element we can get in, the more chance we have of saving the Three Brothers. And we do need people with skills. We do need people who are prepared to learn to sail the Three Brothers. And we do need people, particularly if they're handy with their hands, woodworking, shipbuilding, boat building, carpentry, anything like that.
The reason I think people should become members is because the future generations of Bridlington will have no knowledge of what life was like for their ancestors, their great-grandfathers who had to work so hard. On a boat like the Three Brothers, it took only 2 men to sail the boat and to fish at the same time. Nowadays it takes a crew of 4 just to sail the boat. The lives of the fishermen were very, very hard, and if people come and sail with us in the Three Brothers and find out how much work there is involved in sailing the boat without even doing anything else, they will help to understand what their forebears had to put up with. We only go out when the weather is only up to winds of force 4, but the people who used to sail these boats and fish used to go out in any weather. It had to do. It was their livelihood that was at stake. If they didn't fish, they didn't eat.
Children need to know about these things, about boats without engines that sail in the open sea. They need to be brought up to know their heritage.
The Three Brothers is the only sailing couple left in her original condition. She's the oldest one left in the world. It's still in her original condition. And I feel it would be a shame if this last piece of basically our heritage is lost. This is why I'm quite prepared to give up a good bit of my time helping to keep her afloat. When we go sailing nowadays, I tend to drive the safety boat and the towboat. The Three Brothers isn't allowed to sail within the harbour limits now because of the congestion and because she's a big, heavy, unwieldy sailing boat. She has to be towed through the harbour.
When you're out on the cobble boat in the bay, it's a fantastic feeling, because when you've got the full sail out and the wind's coming through the sail and catching your face, it's so invigorating, and the boat can go up to about 4 knots. There's no feeling like it. I like to be on the tiller, but not always can I get on the tiller. Other people like to be on it as well.
Sailing in the Three Brothers is absolutely lovely, wonderful.
It's an absolutely ecstatic feeling to be sailing out of Bridlington Harbour.
Oh, it's so marvellous. You cannot explain yourself.
You really do feel somebody on a boat of that era.
I'm sure it attracts a lot of people, particularly visitors that come to Bridlington, to see this old boat sailing majestically in Bridlington Bay.